Hey, what's up guys, Sir Amanon here, bringing to you a new series that I hope to start on this channel, which is what I will call DuelingBook High Rated Spectate. Now basically, what I am doing here is I'm going into the watch mode of DuelingBook, clicking on games, seeing if there's like good quality matchups, and just seeing if I can commentate, and hopefully we can learn something about like how the metagame shapes together. I find that there is a surprising lack of content on, like, I guess focusing on observation and improvement by like sitting down and like analyzing things, you know, from a gameplay perspective. There's a lot of discussions on card choices, certain theories on how the meta will shape up based on like perceptions of how the meta is, like, you know, driven by like certain interactions or matchups or whatever, but like observing it firsthand I think is something that will be very useful to at least myself, if not hopefully some of you guys out there. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Now I will say that I tab in and out when I watch these. I don't like watch them intently. I just make sure that they're not like bad quality games where there's like a lot of flame in the chat or like long judge calls, hopefully, or, you know, decks that aren't as highly represented. I'm trying to like get, you know, an accurate representation of what the meta will be, so that this will be the most useful to the most amount of people. With that being said though, let's go ahead and get right into it here. Now the advantage of going through the replays and not showing it live is that we get to just observe from like hindsight, I guess, and we can kind of go as fast or as slow as we need to. Alright, so the red player is going first. This is a Sky Striker mirror match, so we see that he leads with the upstart goblin here. Let's see, I'm just trying to make sure if I need to make the quality a little bit better. I think that should be fine. Alright, so leading with upstart. His hand looks pretty strong here. He has a shared ride, which is main decked. Very good going first against Salamangreat. And good first or second against Striker, which is the matchup he is playing right now. He's going to go ahead and go for Foolish Goods for Metaphor's Fusion, so he's basically opened effectively everything he needs. Let's see if he goes for Fusion first. He does. And he draws the Fusion, that's funny. Always seems to draw Fusion, not Fusion. He's basically just missing like a multi-roll before it can start really popping off. This is prior to the... we can't see the extra decks, but this is prior to the new ban list. The new ban list is effective tomorrow, actually. So obviously this might not be like the most relevant, since we get a new set coming out this upcoming Friday, which will introduce some new variables, especially with respect to Orcust. And of course, Mystic Mind, that everyone's raving about. But this is sort of, I guess, more of a test run to see if you guys like this sort of content. Hopefully you guys do. Alright, so that's one sec, please. Alright, he goes for the Area 0 next, to Drew Fusion. And there's a multi-roll I said he was missing, so now he's pretty much set to do whatever he wants. And put that Fusion right back in grave. Gonna roll... which will be met by the Ghost Ogre here. So that will stop him from directly accessing Ray. And if there was an Ash Blossom here, then it could actually stop being engaged. But there is none, so he's gonna definitely go for Ray. Get the draw, of course. Hornet Drones will be useful later on. He's gonna go add back engage. Probably go for, I would imagine, either another multi-roll if he wants to go for Shizuku play, or he could go just directly into Widow. And he'll go into Widow and draw a Call by the Grave. Interesting, both players are main decking this card. So he will go ahead and probably summon Shizuku and set, I would imagine, 3. Yep, and they'll go end phase search for... you can't search multi-roll, which is what you would normally search if you don't have it on board. But since it got ogred, he'll probably search either another anchor or maybe a booster. Search another anchor, yep. Alright, then drawing the Ash for turn. That's pretty big rip here. Feels bad. So he's gonna have to try and chew through Bit of Disruption. Mr. Gamer Greg here is in a pretty good position because he has answers to Kagari, as well as just having the shared ride as like a backup plan, and then he can use Call By either as a way to, like, you know, stop whatever he feels is necessary, whether that's Ray cycling or the Ash. He might not be reading Ash because he didn't get stopped last turn, and like his multi-roll obviously wasn't effective, so if there was an Ash it would have come down. So he's probably reading that there isn't an Ash here, but I mean, drawing it for turn, that happens. Excuse me. So going to the main phase for the GOAT here. He's probably just going to lead off by normal summoning Ray. Oh, he's just going to blind hit with MST. Interesting. I guess he's fishing for Anchor. And he's going to hit the Call by the Grave. So I guess he'll just chain an Ogre, which, I mean, doesn't do that much here. So, I mean, he's still going to have to play through Anchor and the shared ride. He doesn't know about the shared ride, of course, but he's going to go Hayate most likely. And go battle phase. Probably take the damage and let it happen. Yep. Interesting, he sows for area 0 instead of engage. That is very much interesting. So the good news for the GOAT, however, is he can stop the shared ride with Ash if he so chooses to, which is probably a smart choice. But he'll probably be pretty far behind. Just gotta wait and see, I guess. So he's gonna go Kagari, add back the area 0. He's gonna chain shared ride. That's gonna be met with Ash, yep. And he's gonna anchor the Kagari. And he's going to Call by the Grave on the opposing Kagari. Very interesting. So it's negated. They're gonna go for Shizuku, set anchor, and search an end phase for engage. Yeah. I think the reason why he went for area 0 was so he can still get Shizuku, because he knew that there was an anchor set already. So best to like try and guarantee that you get it in end phase, because the only way this loses is like if he loses out to both Kagari and Shizuku was if there was like a Veiler or a double Widow Anchor, which could have happened, but in this case he went for the play that was the safest. Alright, Greg draws Eagle Booster, which is going to be great for this anchor that's set. But he is, however, under Call by the Grave, so no Kagari for this turn. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to just like stop his opponent's access to Ray by trying to like take the Shizuku or something, and then like maybe area it away. We will see. If he does go for that, then he could chain his own Widow Anchor on his own Shizuku, but we'll see what happens. I don't think that will happen, but he's gonna go for Melphus Fusion first and draw into MST, which that's quite good. Interesting that both these players are main decking MST and Call by the Grave. It's very, very noteworthy. Let's see if he goes for the blind hit. He does. He's gonna chain it on the opposing Shizuku, which will possibly get met with Eagle Booster. He's considering it. Yep, he goes for it. Now he's free to take the opposing Widow, or he can use his own Widow to take the opposing Shizuku and then area it away like I was talking about earlier. That is a possibility. It's on the table. He's gonna go battle phase, take the Shizuku, attack for 3k. Main phase 2, area target. Ooh, he barely scrapes by with that Ray. Almost spliffed. He might go like Hayate and then go another Shizuku. Or Arcana, if that works. Because he's right now kinda... He doesn't have access to defensive cards since this Call by the Grave stopped the Kagari. So... yeah. He's gonna use Suzuki on end phase. Luckily for Mr. Goat here, he has access to Ray next turn. Going for the Shark Cannon, hard drawing Afterburner for turn off the top. So that's more than likely going to get... it could get Area 0 if he wanted to pop it with his own Afterburner, or it could just be Ray, we'll see. He's gonna go Widow to try and steal. Actually, that's pretty interesting because that also denies... I totally didn't... That slipped my mind. I don't know how that slipped my mind. Yeah, that's definitely the right play here because there is no Eagle Booster set, so this play is pretty safe. Draws a Terraforming, which is quite good. He's gonna go fire that off for Area 0. He'll zero target the Afterburner since he's going to steal the Shizuku anyway, so the Afterburner is not going to do much here. And he rips an engage off the top. What do you know? So that's probably going to get a multi-roll. Yep. Draw one. Eagle Booster. So all these plays, everything is safe. That's absolutely absurd. So now he doesn't have to worry about like Valor or anything on like his Kagari. That's actually kind of insane. So yeah, he's going to go ahead and take the Shizuku. Go and get Kagari. Add back engage. Not fearing Ash, he likes not to use multi-roll, and he just goes straight for engage, because obviously probably would have Ashed the first engage, so no fear. Draws into Foolish Goods, and he's pretty much off to the races. So this is a lot of damage. I'll just let them do it. 26, I'll just assume that's correct. Fusion is going to be shuffled right back, drawing a card, and that gets an upstart, so just keep cycling. So he has a Terraforming that he can set next turn and you know, bin with Area 0, so that's good for him. Or just choose to activate it for another copy, that's also a thing. That's fair enough. Goes for Shizuku, set 2. He's gonna go roll, and then does he have... okay, he has another Engage Engrave, so I can't add it. And Shizuku's going to search for a shark. The good news for Greg here is that he has his own shark, so he can like take... like he's not like out of access to Ray, but we saw him take it off the 0. But drawing a multi-roll, it's a very good top deck. It makes it to where there's nothing in particular. I guess it just makes it so that he can keep grinding against the blue player. But he chooses to just pack it up. Because he knew that there was he knew Widow and he knew... I don't think he knew Eagle Booster. But alright, so we see side decks here. Brick from blue player, actually Brick from both players. We see a Soul Release sided, which is interesting. But Shared Ride gonna be putting in work here. Yeah, and as is common, they don't set back removal since it's susceptible to being cleared. So let's see. The Twin Twister. Gonna change Shared Ride. Bins the multi-roll, which is interesting. Because if he like draws Area 0, then that kind of is unfortunate. It's gonna set Shared Ride and it's not to set the Widow Anchor, which would have been funny because it could have been met the exact same way with a Twin Twister on both of these cards. That would have been funny. He draws another Twin Twister, jeez. I feel like maybe he holds MST here and he just passes. Or just sets the MST, fair enough, yeah. He goes evenly matched, yeah, that's not gonna do anything against the Brick. He's probably just gonna pass. Yep. MST on the back row. That's gonna amount to nothing. Shark Cannon when both players have brick, that's not gonna do anything either. He's probably just gonna pass. It's a Twin Twister pass. Upstart. This is the biggest brick fest. Herc base, interesting. This is prior to the ban list, by the way. So, yeah, he's just choosing to play it out of his own preference. He sets the Herc base, even though there's not really anything to recycle, but I guess to bluff, maybe shared ride. Goods could get him out of this potentially. We'll see if he gets met with Ash, just to like try and keep the game at like at a snail's pace here. Alright, he chooses to let the fusion play go through. He gets an Ash. Jeez. This is the biggest brick. Alright, we finally see a player draw Ray. Let's see. Let's see if we can actually see some things get done. He might try and play around Call by the Grave by not going for like battle phase, attack, because if he gets hit by Call by the Grave, he's just mega sad, and he doesn't have a way to like out it. So, oh, but he doesn't choose to play around Call by the Grave. If that was Call by the Grave, that would have been upsetting, very upsetting. But nope, doesn't get punished. I'll go ahead and Hayate send the engage. Gonna go ahead and Kagari it back. This engage will most likely get ashed if he chooses to. He might choose to just Shizuku since both players have bricked and set the Widow. Yeah, he's deciding on if he wants to activate it. Yeah, he's gonna ash the Shizuku. I mean, he's caught between a rock and a hard place there. But the thing is that since the roll was in graveyard, like he wasn't under pressure to like respond to access to a roll or anything. But still getting access to double engage is scary, though. Like he doesn't really have any defense for the next turn's engage, so his top deck's gonna have to be pretty amazing. Granted, he has a Shark Cannon, so he can start playing, but we will see. He's gonna Twin Twister, which is gonna stop the anchor. That's quite notable. We'll see if he shuffles back Kagari to make the Shark Cannon dead, which would be hilarious if that happens. He's gonna Twin Twister, pitch the Twin Twister. And he does, yep. Recycles it back, so funnily enough, that that made Shark Cannon way worse. And he puts back the multi-roll, so it could be searched potentially off Shizuku if necessary. Oh, he does draw Hornet Drones, though, so that is a way in. He desperately needed a way to get to Ray, so... the unfortunate thing is, like, you can't send in both Ray and engage. He knows, obviously, there's no back row. We'll see if he, like, respects Valor, if he's just gonna try and make the play. Nope, he's just gonna try and play it safe. Can Kagari add back anything? It can add back a Widow Anchor. Yes, he's gonna add it back. He's gonna go for Shizuku. That Shizuku is definitely getting ashed. Yep. Right, and now this is a tough situation for Mr. Goat because he's basically now playing a turn behind. So he will probably, Mr. Greg will start off with Soul Release. Interesting. Kagari, Hayate, Ray, Drones, and Twin Twister. So the top 5 cards. It makes Shark Cannon plays a little weaker, but it also stops Ray for sure. So he's free to go off with Burner here. He is going to steal the Shizuku, which kind of puts Greg in an awkward position. He's gonna try to make a play right now, searching Ray. He gets Area 0, which is mighty convenient. I wonder if he's thinking of responding to the area and trying to maybe ogre it. Yeah, so Go Akagari, add back, engage. When this comes back though, it's gonna be pretty awkward, so I wonder if he's just gonna like search maybe a multi-roll, or if he's just gonna go and search Widow. And search Widow. Alright. So it's... Oh, that's right, you could just attack. I'm stupid. I'm very dumb. I forgot that there's like... You could just attack. I'm kind of out of it. This is not the best look for a first commentary, but I'll get better at this, hopefully. Alright, so the back row is definitely alive. There is a shark cannon for Kagari, but there are answers, obviously, so even if he draws, like, engage for Widow or something, you know, there is Eagle Booster's Insurance. And he will probably add, he might add multi-roll here, let's see if he does. He's gonna add Hornet Drones, interesting, so he might go for a bigger push next turn. Can't see extra decks, but I would imagine he's playing Borosword if he's planning that far ahead for a push. MST, so he knows that there's an anchor, he doesn't know about the Eagle Booster. Let's see if he tries to like 50-50 it. I think you have to, yeah. And he does get the anchor. It's quite good. I wonder if there's a world in which you anchor your own Shizuku so that they can't Widow take it if like you're reading Widow. I don't know if he knows that this is a shark cannon. I don't think so. So that's gonna get back Kagari. Oh, he's gonna special Ray instead. Interesting. Oh right, there's nothing for Kagari to add back. I assumed that this late in the game he had engaged, but yeah, he bricked for like 5 turns straight, so yeah, he kind of needed the Ray there. Yeah. So let's go ahead and send his own Ray. He's really prioritizing the Ray over getting engaged. I feel like you see double Widow engrave, like maybe just go for it. Cause like you saw him search Hornet, so like he's definitely going for a massive push. Cause I mean there is one less card now that he has access to for like this turn. I feel like he needs as much defense as possible, but he's playing for late. Striker mirrors are like way different from Striker versus other stuff. Like the mirror is just all about card economy and managing your resources. Astron for turn, that's very convenient. Really convenient draws here. First the area 0 off with the Ray, and now this. So we know there's Eagle Booster. So let's think. He can go Kagari. I'm just gonna let this play. He can go Kagari, add back. Does he use Shark Cannon? He hasn't. Although he knows that there's a Widow Anchor, so I don't know how much damage he could realistically do because of the Anchor. Although he has Eagle Boosters, so it's like whatever. Can he make a link for? He could use Hornet. He could steal something with either Shark or with the third Widow. He could normal summon the Ash, but that's not enough to make Borosword live, so Kagari back. Engage. Let's see if he chooses to Widow Anchor. He lets it go through. I think he's reading, like, he's trying to, save his anchor for the biggest threat. So engage is going to be fired off for a roll. He draws another booster. So no area 0 or anything super lucky. That would make this way easier. Go for Hayate. He's just going to go and poke a little bit. I think he needs one more turn to really try and go for game there. So saving the anchor, which consequently saves the booster. Granted, he has another Eagle Booster anyway. On summon. He's considering anchoring it so it returns to the main zone. But again, regardless of all of this, there's an eco booster. So. Okay, so he chooses not to do any of that. Go Shizuku. Search Jamming Waves. Interesting to see that there's no Shark Cannon being searched off the red player. Draws a Widow Anchor, which is pretty good considering that he did not set his second Eagle booster. That's gonna be met with Ash, most likely. Yep. Gario add back. He's actually not in a bad position if he really wanted to like just hold as much as possible. Get Afterburner. Interesting choice. Let's see if he uses the Afterburner, if he just holds it. He elected not to go for multi-roll or for Area 0. Yeah, this is a pretty high rated game. He's targeting his own Kagari. Let's see if he Eagle boosters his opponent's Kagari, which would be pretty interesting if he chose to do that. But if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't do it, then like this Widow Steel play. Oh, he does choose to go for it. Oh, he's choosing to do it on his. He knew that was an anchor set though. Interesting. So he just gave him another link instead of using it on Kagari so that his roll would live. Very interested by that play. Because what that effectively accomplished for the blue player was he outed the opponent's Ray. Granted, he knows that there's a Hornet Drones up here, but he also outed the multi-roll too, and stopped the Eagle booster without having to use both of the Widow Anchors. Because like if he at any other point tried to go for like a Widow Steel and like he boosted, then he had the second anchor for it, but he didn't have to use the second anchor here. So interesting set of plays. I feel like if he had boosted, maybe if he boosted the opponent's Kagari, then that would have gone a lot different. To where like his multi-roll would still be up and he would still have the Eagle booster to like respond to like to him trying to proactively use anchor. It's gonna search for Area 0 in the end phase. And there's an Ash Blossom here for probably when he goes Kagari add back engage, if that's the play. Spear's gonna get very interesting once Kagari goes to 1. Oops. Alright. He's gonna evenly for 1. He's electing to choose to keep, or he's electing to keep Widow Anchor. I keep forgetting if like things are known to players, because like we can see everything, so yeah. And then he definitely did know that there was Jamming Waves up there though, so that was interesting. They chose to keep it. So it's harder to keep track of all this. Like all of this was known. He's gonna choose to grab back base to start cycling. He's probably gonna send it off roll maybe. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and end phase. I think roll. Did he run out Shizuku's too? Oh wow, he ran out Shizuku's too. He chose not to recycle any of them. He recycled a Hayate instead, which is interesting because that was only one Hayate. Terraforming drawn, so that's probably gonna be set and then binned away for the Area 0. Roll is a very good hit. Wow. Granted, there is a Widow Anchor that he is aware of, so let's see how he tries to play around it. Or if it even is possible. It might not be. Yeah, he just passes. And this is a really good top deck. So now he's able to I think he can close here. If he has Shark Cannon left in deck still... let's think about this actually. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't have a way to do it. Because whatever Shark Cannons can't attack anyway, so... It's possible he doesn't have game here. Or maybe he does. Let's see. Field's gonna get ashed. He's gonna Kagari add back the engage. Yeah, he definitely doesn't have game now, I don't think. Oh yeah, if that that's really funny. Yeah, so if that area 0 resolved, then he would have had a... Well, does he have 2 rays? Oh yes, 2 rays, never mind. Alright. Yeah. That might have been enough spells to just straight up beat game, actually. If there's 12 spells in Grave, which there very well could have been, that was a long game, then it was game. So onwards to the 3rd game. I think he had 42. Actually, I don't remember how much life he had. I'm like spacing out super hard. I apologize. Alright, so he's elected to side for going 2nd, and there's evenly matched. He's gonna base target the Eagle Booster. Oh, my stuff is lagging. That's very good. Alright, I've noticed that the DuelingBook replay client, or it's not even a client, but it's just a lot laggier than regular DuelingBook for me, and I don't know why, but oh, God, this is so painful. Alright. He's gonna go and search for multi-roll. Plays a little greedy, like he's if this gets ashed, then it's pretty sad, but I mean he's at least still has roll, I guess, so area to get the ray out. Let's see if he opts for just ending on just a shared ride, if he wants a widow behind it. Off this engage, of course. Like if he chooses to hold it, or if he just and go straight for Shizuku, or if he uses it. Go straight for the Shizuku, yep. Yeah, I figured that this would be the play. Because Shared Ride is just such an obnoxious card. Interesting that he chooses to use multi-roll on the Eagle Booster this early. Makes me think he's playing 2. Because making the Eagle Booster get banished this early on in the Striker Mirror is like... It's pretty early for that. So... Makes me think he's playing multiples. So he's gonna get hit with evenly matched. Shared Ride. Let's see if he chooses to keep multi-roll, if he chooses to keep Shizuku. Okay, so he's choosing to keep Shizuku, obviously, if he is chaining the Eagle Booster. This is very long, even for a replay. Like, I'm clicking next play a bunch, and it's still going on for 34. This is how you know Striker Mirrors last forever. They literally last a long time. My mouth's getting dry, and I'm like, I need to take a drink of water. I didn't realize I was commentating for that long. Alright, so... We see main phase 2. I didn't see the hand, but I think it was multi-roll into area. And then he holds the engage because of Shared Ride. So he's just gonna go and give him 1 draw. Oh my god, it's lagging. It's lagging super bad, guys. I'm sorry about that. Yes, draw Terraforming off the Shared Ride and Shark Cannon. So this could be an explosive turn, especially because we don't see any hand traps from the red player. So area is going to target, I think this is a set, terraforming. Yeah, so he gets another booster. I'm just gonna let it play. I think it's not lagging as bad if I just let it play. Yeah, it's not lagging as bad if I let it play. Alright. So I'm just gonna let it play. This might take a while, but... yeah, so I was correct on the read about him having multiple eagle boosters. It's like, there's no way you just throw away an eagle booster in the mirror match. Like turn 1 off a multi-roll. So yeah, all of this is known. He might go for a multi-roll, yep. And draw. And there's a Kagari. Like the red player has no response to this, so like he could realistically get drowned out here. And he also has MST for multi-roll if he wants to stop it. He can also hold it. It's an option. We'll see if he tries to prioritize getting rid of the opponent's Ray access. Granted, he knows that there's an engage in hand. Oh god. Please don't lag too bad. I'm trying to click next play. Alright, multi-roll and engage. Searching Afterburner. Interesting. So most likely get met with the Eagle Booster, and that's quite nice for a push if he so desires. He's actually very close to being able to not close out the game because Greg's on full, but I think he's just gonna concede. Yep. Yeah, so he definitely had like Shark, and he had roll target 0. He had Hornet Drones, and he had normal summon Ash. So it's very possible for him to make a huge push, but like he's just so drowned out at this point. There's so many answers. So yeah, that was a very interesting striker mirror. I don't know if I would have FF'd that quickly, if I would have quit that soon. FF'd, I mean scooped. Granted, maybe you reading that like he already has an Ash, but yeah, that top deck soul release probably wouldn't have done too much. Yeah, but his multi-will was a goner, and he had just a lot of momentum going because he has like everything at his disposal. So yeah, striker mirror, very long, very grindy, intensive. I will have other matchups, and hopefully those will go by a bit quicker. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this commentary style of video, if you guys like it, if you guys don't like it. Hopefully you guys do like it, because I do like commentating. I promise I will try and improve on being a bit smoother, and also not derping when I'm commentating on certain things that are right in front of me that are kind of obvious. But I do like just having sort of a medium to kind of like talk through potential plays, and I would like, you know, ideally this sort of style video to be a forum where people can just be like in the comments, you know, posting a timestamp and being like, hey, you could have talked about this, or like there's something that this player could have done differently, or maybe this is why somebody did this, if like I'm saying I'm not sure why they go for this play, stuff like that. Very nice to just have like a community sort of input, and I think that is something that is a little bit missing, so hopefully I can fill a void here. But yeah, I'm rambling on way too much. This video is already 40 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys.